In our last lesson, I showed you 4 different tricks that you can use to create depth in your drawings. The first one was size. If you make something smaller, it pushes it back into space. The second one was overlapping. So this ball is overlapping this one which is further back into space. The third was it moves up the page. And the fourth was 1-point perspective, where you put your pencil on the horizon line and your road or your path or your river gets bigger as it gets closer to you. So we use these 4 tricks in a small drawing. This tree is further away because it's smaller and further up the page. This snowman, even though it's smaller, it's a kid snowman, so it's overlapping his dad here. Our sledder is very small because he is very small, or very far away. My house here is bigger than this house because this one's closer to me. The sun, we talked about the sun, even though the sun is actually the biggest thing of all, it's so small because it's so far away. These pine trees go up the paper, so they're getting further back into space. And you can see our road here does not connect because it's going downhill and uphill, and then this is just the parts that we can see. So we're going to use these 4 depth tricks to create a snow day drawing. I want you to think and pretend that there has been a snow day. Everything's covered in snow. What are some of the winter activities that you could do? Skiing, sledding, snowball fight, a snow fort. You can draw houses or no houses, trees, pine trees, a pond. I'm going to show you a few things to do. I'm going to have you all start with a white oil pastel. If you're at home doing it, then you can just use a white crayon. And I'm going to draw some horizon line here. And then I'm going to draw some hills in the background, because in Hinckley we are full of hills. And I'm going to draw a little pond right here. We have a lot of ponds and small waterways around here. There we go. And then I'm going to draw my road coming down here. I'm going to start back here, 1-point perspective. Start at the point on the horizon line, and then it gets larger. Since it's coming closer to us, I'm not going to do the point anymore, but I am going to make it wider. And then finally it's coming up around the bend, and it gets wider. It's kind of like a triangle. It gets wider as it comes down. I'm going to add some trees. And this tree would be very close, so it would be very large and big. I use zigzag lines into a triangle. I like to use 2 greens too. Makes it look more real. I'm not going to do the trunk because sometimes the tree's so heavy, the pine needles, you can't even see the trunk. Then I'm going to make a tree further back, and so I make it smaller and I push it up the page. Some zigzag lines. There we go. I don't want to put the tree at the bottom of my paper. I don't want any of my details to go at the bottom of the paper or to sit on top of these lines. I want everything to be in the snow. You could draw a house. Let's see, find a neutral color crayon. Maybe my house will be blue. You can start with pencil first and then fill it in later if you want. You should know lots of details for drawing houses and windows and doors from all of our ancient Greek work we did. Color in my roof. Now don't add snow to anything yet, because we are going to do that in the next step. So right now, just do all your details. Do a door. Some windows, and I'm gonna make mine kind of like it's evening. It's a little dark out. Maybe it's still snowing. So I'm gonna make all my windows yellow on the inside, like the lights are on. I want you to put lots of detail. You could do columns. Let's put like there's siding going around across the house. You could draw your house or a different house, a log cabin. This is in the woods far away. This could be a path instead of a road. And do a path here. Hopefully the owner shoveled. They'll have piles of snow around it. Maybe in front of this house, the kids have built a snowman. Now a little trick with your snowman is, I'm going to add some blue. And then I'm going to go over it again with my oil pastel. Anytime you're doing snow today, use your oil pastel. Do you see how it looks like there's a shadow? The sun's over here. Small, faint sun. It's going to be behind that blizzard. And so the shadow is on this side of the snowman. The sun's setting over here. The light's coming this way. Gonna add a little scarf. A little top hat or a stocking cap. I'm going to use a pencil. Here's one. For his eyes. To get him in detail. The crayons sometimes don't do real tiny details good. Here's my little snowman. I'm not going to worry about any of the snow on the ground, like I said, because those are all going to be covered up next time with snow. Little shrubs here, we'll cover them with snow again next time. Do maybe there's like a big tree next to this house. Okay, my pond here, I'm going to add some white streaks into my pond to make it look like ice. It's been iced over. And just very lightly, I'm going to use, I think, yep, Sarah, come on, focus. Focus. Alright, so I think this is a great color to use when you're doing the snowman and the ice and everything. A little bit of a lighter blue. I'm going right over that oil pastel. It looks just like ice. Get that. Alright, here we go. Refocused. Okay, so things go back into space and they get smaller. So if I were to draw a house back here, let's do a gray one, it's going to be even smaller. Alright, it would be smaller. I'm going to go a little bit faster here so you guys can get to work. Maybe have a garage on it. squared little chimney on this one. Okay, you could do some clouds here if you wanted to. We can do that next week too. Some trees. If you had a snowman back here, he would be really small. Smaller than that guy. Add a little blue to him. A shadow. He's got a pink hat on. Maybe it's a snow girl. Little matching scarf. Okay, so using our rules, you're going to make a snow scene. You can have kids in it, people, animals, anything that reminds you of the winter. Here's another example I did. Smaller tree. I did do the tree stumps for these ones. And then on the other side, I did a house up front. It's this family tradition to put lights and decorate their trees, so you can do that. You can put lights on the house if that's your family tradition, or on some of the trees. I have a sledder coming down the hill, so I used my 1-point perspective to create the trail like he was sledding, and I put upon in the background some small little miniature trees. I did some clouds like the storm was going through. And this snowman was much closer, so he is much bigger than this guy because he's closer to us. So he's going to be bigger. So today I'd like you to get your lines drawn, put all of your details in the space. Do not draw them on top of your lines. Draw them inside. Add details. Only use your oil pastel for the snow. And remember our 4 rules. Size, overlapping, moves up, and 1-point perspective. Do it at school, try it at home, and make sure you show me. Have fun.